Pleasure to introduce Carol Lowry. Carol's asked me to be brief, so I will be. She has a long record of achievements, one of which is an Order of Canada, but she wanted me to limit her introduction to her open space experience. So Carol's been doing open space for over 16 years, and it's given her a great background of experience and expertise to bring to us. She led our open space, our last time we had it, in 2010, and that had many positive outcomes for it. And so we're looking forward to Carol leading us through the next day and a half of good discussions, good conversations, and good growth potential for our community. So Carol, come on in, the floor is yours.
Thank you, John. Well, welcome everyone. What a great opportunity we have today, right? Oh, you don't need to clap for me. I'm not going to do the work, you guys are. So, anybody who would like to come and sit closer to the front, it would be really great if you could do that, but if you're very comfortable where you are, that's okay too. But I encourage, this is a bit like church, you had to come early to get the back seats, I think. But, so we're going today to do something that some of you may never have done before. How many, I wonder, is there somebody back there that could close those doors at the back? Because I can't see. Those lights are quite, I expect they're the same for you, are they? Yeah, okay. So we're going to do something different today, but I expect some of you have done open space before. How many of you have done open space facilitation before? Excellent, excellent. So you know what you're getting into. You know that it's an exciting time, but it's a little scary time because we do not have an agenda as of this moment. We have a question. How do we work together to make Fredericton better? So all ideas are welcome. All ideas are valid. Someone suggested today, maybe if you think in terms of I believe. They sent me something today and they said, if you say, I believe Fredericton needs, then that's a good way to start. I believe Fredericton needs. The thing with open space, however, is you can't just have a passion for the need. You have to be willing to take responsibility for it. And by the end of today, by 9 o'clock tonight, we'll be finished this part of the meeting, we will actually have a proceedings. So now we have a front and a back to the proceedings, but at the end of today, we will have a book of proceedings. And it will be available to you electronically overnight, and you'll be able to have a look at it if you want. And tomorrow, those of you who are able to come tomorrow, we will look in more detail at those topics that seem to get the most attention. Those themes that seem to get the most attention. So you will have an opportunity at the end of the day to look over what's been done all day and to decide how you want to weight those. So we're giving you, I'm sure most of you have used Green Dot Democracy, so we will use that at the end of the day to help. And then the organizing committee after 9 o'clock tonight will put together major themes, and tomorrow we'll work in a more detailed way, all of us together, on the major themes of what we can do in the next year or two to make Fredericton better. So that's what we're going to do. So, if you haven't worked in open space, you're probably now saying, is she nuts? We have no agenda and you're going to accomplish all of that today. And I share that with you somewhat because the first time I did open space, I was asked to co-chair an international conference, a 2.5-day conference, with lesser-known people like Monique Bégin and June Callwood attending. And I was very busy at the time. It was being held in Geneva Park, and I kept saying to the person who'd asked me to co-chair, where's the agenda? Where's the agenda? Where's the agenda? And I went to that meeting with no agenda and came away blown away by this process. So I understand completely if you're feeling that kind of way. So what I'm going to do in a few minutes is I'm going to ask each of you who cares to, and nobody has to, if you have something you believe should be done in Fredericton, something that needs to be changed, something that needs to be fixed, something that needs to be added, then I will ask you to come forward, write the topic on these pages that are sitting here, and write your name on the page. And then you're to go over there. Where's my Susanna? There will be somebody standing over there.
I'll go stand over.
Okay, good, thank you. My Vanna for today is Susanna, or Suzanne. She will give you a time and a place. We're going to work in 1.25 hour sessions, and you can choose which time you want your session to be. You will be considered the convener of the session, and your job will be to get there on that time and to lead the discussion, get someone to do the discussion. You will be responsible for that session, and you will be responsible for keeping the record of what happened in that session. Most of the sessions will have a recorder in there for you. We've got some wonderful young people who've come to help us do that. So there will be a recorder in there, so you'll be able to just lead the session, and you'll have a format of what you're doing. So you'll have a proceedings that you'll write up and you'll hand in right away. So nobody has to do that. You can do as many topics as you want, if you've got, as long as there's only 5. We only have 5 times. So you can lead a session every single time. So you can have 5 different sessions that you're the convener of. And you don't have to be an expert, okay? What do they say, an expert who's someone is a drip under pressure, isn't that it? Expert, anyway.
From away. From away.
A drip under pressure. Oh, that's, yeah, that's a consultant. Somebody comes from away and borrows your watch and tells you what time it is, right? So you don't have to, you just have to have an idea. So you don't have to be perfect at it, you just have an idea of something you'd like to see happen. Open Space runs on passion and responsibility. So if you've got an idea, you've got the passion. But we all know people who say they should do something about that. There's no they in this room, it's all we. What are we going to do about it? So you have to take your passion, match that with responsibility, and get to work. So that's a little bit about what we're going to do today. There are not a whole lot of rules around open space. There's 4 principles and 1 law, and that's all there is. So the 4 principles, hopefully they're coming up now. My tech person. Whoever comes is the right people. So if you convene a session and 25 people come, that's wonderful. If 10 people come, that's wonderful. If 3 people come, that's wonderful. But what about if nobody comes? Okay? Well, the people that come are the people that are here that really care about your topic. And if it's only you that cares about your topic, then you're going to be the only one there. And that's valuable information. It's a good thing to know that you're the one. If anything's going to get done, you're the one that has to do it, right? So you can either choose to stay in your little space. When did you last have 1.25 hours to work on something you really cared about? Right? When did you last have that? And you can write a report of what you think needs to be done. Or you can say, it's a good idea, it's the wrong time. Therefore, I'm just going to, I don't really want to do it all by myself, so I'm going to go to another session. So that's the first principle. The second one, whatever happens is the only thing that could have. We all like to be in control and to have decided what is going to happen. But in the open space, as in life, whatever happens is the only thing that could have. So be prepared for that. Be open to that. We can't control everything. And there's going to be magical things happen here today. The third principle is, whenever it starts is the right time. So we herded you all in here to get you going, but really creative energy doesn't have a timetable. So the first few minutes of your session, you may say nothing's happening here, because people have to get warmed up to that, right? So whenever it starts is the right time. Very hard for non-Aboriginal people to work with that principle, because we want to start on time. But that's okay. Whenever it starts is the right time. And the final one is, when it's over, it's over. So if you go into an 1.25 hour session And in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, you have finished with that topic. You have figured out what needs to be done. You're happy with your discussion. You're done. Then leave. Go off and go into another session. If at the end of an hour and a quarter you say, oh my goodness, we've barely started, then keep going. Keep going. Now, you may have to find another space because somebody else will be coming into your space, but there's lots of space in this building. Keep working on it. If you want to work all the afternoon and evening on one topic, you can do that. That's what open space is all about. So when it starts, whenever it starts is the right time. When it's over, it's over. So those are the 4 very simple principles. There's one law, the law of mobility, or the law of 2 feet, if you want to be less politically correct. This is a wonderful one. I have to tell you, I have done all kinds of open spaces in this city with churches. And the ministers are very uncomfortable with this law because the law of mobility says if you're not learning and you're not contributing, you leave. You get up and leave if you're not learning and you're not contributing. So don't come to me and say, oh, somebody was just dominating the whole thing, Carol, what are you going to do about it? And I will look at you and say, why didn't you leave? You know, that's what you do, the law of mobility. I've used it. It's so integrated into me now after 16 years. I have used the law of mobility in incredibly inappropriate places where I have got up and left and walked out and thought, oh, this is an open space I just walked out on, you know, whatever. So, but if you live your life that way, it's a wonderful way to live. If you're not learning, you're not contributing, leave. Those are the 4 principles and the 1 law of open space. The only other thing about open space I want to tell you is, oh, I forgot about that. There was other things. Good thing I have these charts up. Eh? Butterflies and bumblebees. Open space and the law of mobility will create butterflies and bumblebees. And you might be a butterfly or a bumblebee. Now, a bumblebee in nature cross-pollinates, right? Pollinates different groups. So you may decide, I'm going to, in my hour and a quarter of the first session, there's 3 things I want to attend, and I'm going to attend all 3 of them. And I'm going to spend a little time in this one, a little time in that one, a little time in the other one. It's amazing what that does to the discussion. Because usually, you've heard a little bit of one thing and you bring it to the next session. That's okay. The law of 2 feet says when you're ready to move, you can become a bumblebee. Or you may even choose to be a butterfly. This is your day. This is your time. You decide how to spend it. This is, nobody's going to tell you. Don't put your hand up and say, I want to do this. You do what you want to do. The food's going to be there. We don't have much of a supper break. I think it's like 15 minutes. A break. When you're hungry, go eat. When you have to do other things, there's washrooms all the way around. It's your day. So maybe you just want to go over and be a butterfly. What does a butterfly do in nature? Well, they kind of hang out and are beautiful, right? And we're all beautiful people. Just look around at all these beautiful people in this room. So you might want to hang out at the coffee, or you might hang out at the water, and just see what's going on and look around. And what happens with the butterflies is somebody else comes up to them and says, what about this topic that's not up there? What's that not up there? Maybe we should put it up. And this is the other thing. We will start our first session. There's going to be 5 sessions. As long as there's 1 session still left, you can put up a topic anytime, all afternoon, if you think of it, okay? So, you can be a butterfly, you can be a bumblebee. This is your time and your opportunity to put up topics. And finally, be prepared to be surprised, because that's what open space does. I remember one session where I did with the church. There's so many of them, but one session I did with the church, and the minister was very, very innovative and really changing things like crazy. And he brought me in to do open space. And what he learned in open space was his congregation didn't like this. Didn't like what he was doing. It was very, very difficult for him. And I couldn't understand why he was so down. He was, at the end of it. And he called me about 2 or 3 days later and he said, I had no idea they were thinking that. I don't know how I ever would have found that out without open space. because they had the freedom to tell me. So the courageous man got moved to another church, asked me to come to an open space. All he heard at the other place was complaints. And so I thought it was really interesting. He asked me to do another open space. So I did that open space, and they loved him there. They loved all the innovations, but there were 2 or 3 people that were constantly at him, telling him how they didn't like it. So both times he was surprised, one not so happily, one more happily, but both times getting really great information, really useful information. So we don't know what's going to come out of today, but if your topic's not there, it's only because you didn't put it up. So we're going to talk about everything you care enough about to put it up on the wall, take it over to the marketplace, and put it up on the wall. So that's what open space is. It's very, very simple. It was created by a man named Harrison Owen, who I've worked with on at least 3 occasions, an amazing guy. I actually brought him in here as a speaker. And he did it because his theory was we get the most out of a coffee break. When we're at a conference, we get the most out of a coffee break because we talk to the people we want to talk to about the things we care about and they care about. That's what we're doing in open space. So, I am going to declare the space open. And by the way, we do have a table back there, but I checked that I could still do this. In pure open space, if you're able, this is how you work your topic. You take this, and you write it down, and you put your, remember what I said, you put your topic, and you put your name, and then you take it over to Susanna over there, and she will put it up and help you put it on your time frame, so we'll have an agenda in about a half an hour. Okay. If you don't feel comfortable, see, I can still do it. I can get down and get up. I'm so proud of myself. I can hardly handle it. There's a table back there. Is it still there? I can't see it. Yes, okay. There's a table back there with markers that you can write, or you can take it back to your chair. You can take one of these pages, take it back to the chair, and write your topic. So, when you've got your topic written, please come to me, mostly to the mic, say the name of what your topic is, what your name is, and then go over. So, I declare the space open.
Butterfly.